evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris is back for some more Hearthstone action. This time we are going back into the arena, and we have to choose between a mage, a warrior, or a shaman. Now, these have all actually been played pretty recently, like within 4 arena runs I played all of them, and I really don't want to play warrior anymore. Mage and shaman were back-to-back, so even though the shaman was actually the most recent, I will play him again. I feel like it's been enough time, and they were all close enough together that I can pick that guy for a second time. Let's lower the volume and see what our first rare is. Aha! We have unplayable garbage monkey junk, and then we have a Sunwalker or the Auctioneer. Well, the Sunwalker does put a real brick in your opponent's way, but I'm going to take the Auctioneer. I think this card, the more I play with it, the more outrageous it seems. You can get so many spells or cards off of it. And while shamans are not like rogues with their zero-costing stuff, there are enough cheap shaman spells that this guy can be really good. Like, you have Forked Lightning, Rockbiter Weapon, Lightning Bolt, all of those are 1 mana. So, the Gadgets and Auctioneer could be really great. Bloodlust. So, I found out in my last draft, I really don't like having 2 of these. So I'm just going to take the Unbound Elemental. He's a great creature. 2/4 for 3 is actually quite sturdy. And what I've actually noticed from trying to make constructed decks is that it is really hard to get 4 hit points on a 3-mana creature. It's really hard, and you always end up having to pay for it. Like, there's a monkey, and then there's the down one mage, but they both have only 1 power. So actually, a 2/4 for 3 is pretty solid. Even though that, in theory, should be below average, it's actually quite nice for the 3-mana drop, and so if you get an Overload card, then the thing just becomes redonkulous. So we're going to grab it there. Okay, Bloodlust, again, I really don't want to have more than 1 of these, so I hate taking it this early. We're just going to take the Iron for Grizzly. I do like this card quite a bit, and the Taunt is nice to have. Here we get, oh god, we get garbage. So I really hate Demolisher and the Matic. I just loathe playing with these cards. I guess we're going to go for the Mana Wraith and play games with our opponent here. This is a mediocre pack. Man, we are not seeing that much good stuff in this draft other than the Auctioneer. I could take this. It's pretty ignorable by your opponents, and Shamans don't have any... I mean, there's Ancestral Healing. They could, like, heal this up and give it taunt, but I'm not going to do that. I think we're going to go for the Dark Scale Healer. It is a more expensive creature, but if I'm getting something mediocre, might as well get some health gain into my deck. Oh my god! Wow, this draft will put Papa Boris to the test. There is only 1 playable card here, and that is the Master Swordsmith. We're going to take that because we have to. Of course, we get 2 good creatures, and then a Rockbiter Weapon, which we have to take because we need removal really desperately. And 2 more good creatures, and a Hex, which you really can't pass on Hexes when you don't have any of them. I mean, if you already had like 1 or 2, maybe you can pass on it to take one of these late game cards, but man, either of these would take over the Dark Scale Healer, the Mana Wraith, granted it's a rare, the Master Swordsmith. Man, these rares just suck. They're like worse than commons. Ugh, okay, we're going to take a Hex there. Tough call here. I could take the Novice Engineer, but I think the Shattered Sun Cleric is just so darn good, it's worth taking. Alright, well, Pine-Sized Summoner is an easy grab here. This is mediocre. This is absolutely unplayable trash, so it's going to have to be the Pine-Sized Summoner. And here we could take a heal. We're getting a 3-drop no matter what, but let's take the Scarlet Crusader. This is a very, very good 3-drop. It screws with your opponents quite a bit. The only playable card here is the Raid Leader, so we're going to grab that. Man, this 3-mana Spike I'm not that thrilled with. I could take another Unbound Elemental, but honestly, we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures that are 3 mana. We're doing pretty good. Let's take the Silence. That is nice to have 1 of, and if you flip a Spell Power Totem, then you can make it deal 2 damage. Okay, well, I don't want a mediocre 3-drop when I already have so many. We're going to take the Shield Bearer here, folks. It's time for it to happen. I've had this played against me. I've had it be very effective. Let's try it out myself and see how it goes. Alright, the only playable card here is the Knife Juggler, so thank goodness that was there. Okay, the Silverhand Knight is decent, but let's get a Stormwind Champion. I've already passed 1. My heart would break to pass on a second one, and he is good with all your totems. Second, Gadgets and Auctioneer, yes please. I mean, the Emperor Cobra, definitely playable, but I have so many 3-drops. Let's go ahead and just grab another one of those guys. I'm going to take every single Fire Elemental I see as a matter of public policy. So here we could take a Silence or another Hex. Well, Hex is basically an Uber Silence, so how much do I care about this 2/1 body? Not much. We're going to take a Hex. Where are all the 4-drops? Have we seen any 4-drops? We saw the 2/5 Charger. I think that was the only 4-mana creature we have seen. Well, here, this is actually playable. Sometimes it can do great things, but it is no Azure Drake, so we're going to go ahead and pick her up. There we go! Defender of Argus. Well, I'm going to take it on principle, because I need creatures that cost 4 mana. Oh my god, give a minion Wind Fury? No. No, not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. We're going to go ahead and grab the Healer over the mediocre Taunter. Sen'jin Shieldmaster. Now, Forked Lightning is great. but it has a big overload. Sometimes it's not usable, and Senjin is just pretty much always going to be fine. Oh my god, what is this nonsense? I'm actually tempted to take the Murloc Tidehunter. I don't want another 1-mana Taunter. I've already got the Shield Bearer. Yeah, I guess we'll take this and just hope we never see any mages. Fat chance of that. Alright, Lightning Bolt. I think I've got like 2 Shaman drafts in a row without taking a single Lightning Bolt, so thank the heavens that came along. Stormwind Champion number 2? Oh man, I just worry if I take Youthful Brewmaster that my deck's going to be too light. Look at all this 2-mana and 3-mana stuff. Yeah, let's take a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards at 5 mana or more. That seems fine. We'll grab it here. I guess that's the only playable card. Rockbiter Weapon over this stuff, sure. Oh boy, I am worried. Well, at least we got 2 Senjins. That's kind of nice. And Master does work nicely with these Stormwind champions, but again, I have so many 3-drops. We'll take the Twilight Drake. It'll be like a bad Chillwind Yeti and call it a day. Well, so what happened in this draft? I'd say that the deck is okay. We did have plenty of removal. Got a couple of Hexes, couple of Rockbiter weapons. I have a Lightning Bolt in here. We even have an Earth Shock. So that's fine. Never did get a Bloodlust, but honestly, I don't regret it. I think I got decent stuff. Granted, with all those 3-drops I ended up having, I think I took like an Iron for a Grizzly over a Bloodlust. I guess I would take that back if I had to do it all again. But I think this went okay. It's just not super great. Only the 1 Fire Elemental. Lots and lots and lots of just mediocre packs and a really awful mana curve. We just didn't see that many 4-drops. I mean, we did see the Defender, which was very lucky, and then 2 Senjins, which was great. But it's a lot of mediocrity happening here, so we'll see what we can make of it. We're up against Graham the Priest. Taking a sip of Good Luck water. This is coming out of a Reed's Ginger Brew bottle. You can still taste the ginger brew a little bit. It's nice. This Fairy Dragon's actually quite irritating. I cannot hit it with a Lightning Bolt. So what we're going to do is we're going to play Pint-Sized Summoner. And if the Pint-Sized Summoner trades with the Fairy Dragon, then so be it. I am laughing hysterically here because I have a mountain of 3-mana creatures, and I don't have anything to play next turn. Uh-oh, that looks like a Power Word Shield coming up, but you can't target it with spells because, ha ha ha. Well, now we know that my opponent has a Power Word Shield. It is highly improbable that I will be able to make any use of that knowledge, I suppose. If he's got it, he's got it. What am I going to do? He's gonna play it. But my opponent, you saw him just try to point something at this Fairy Dragon. The only thing he'd really point at it is a Power Word Shield. Well, my opponent decides to go down a card by taking Mind Blast. Granted, it might have been a bad pack or something, but oh, thank goodness. But still, it's nice to know that my opponent just went down a card for absolutely no reason against me, which is great. The health is very unlikely to matter. Mind Blast is a bad card. You only should take this if you're completely desperate. Oh my god, is the Mad Bomber going to kill my Grizzly? Okay. Well, that was a very good Mad Bomber from my opponent. The damage on him doesn't really make any difference, but the damage on me, instead of going onto him, of course, is quite fortunate. Well, we need to play the Twilight Drake before it completely stops being useful. It's a Chillwind Yeti that can be silenced. And I know that my opponent does actually have a Power Word Shield, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill this Mad Bomber. Because otherwise my opponent could have put Power Word Shield on this Mad Bomber and then killed my Grizzly and survived. So I guess that point of knowledge did in fact make a difference. Alright, let's see what my opponent has. He is not letting up. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we have a couple of options here. One is we can play Ascension and protect our Twilight Drake and swing. Another option is I can play the Gadsden Auctioneer and then hope it survives, and then play Lightning Bolt next turn, draw a card. However, the issue is that basically, if I do play the Gadsden Auctioneer, my opponent only needs to buff this for 1 damage. So Direwolf Alpha, Raid Leader, Shattered Sun Cleric, Dark Iron Dwarf, even like an Inner Fire to go with that Power Word Shield that I know he has, and my Gadsden Auctioneer is dead. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the Ascension, although it's not using up all my mana, and we're going to ignore the Silver Moon Guardian. So now, if my opponent can get a Dark Iron Dwarf down, he is on track to winning the game, because he'll be able to kill my Ascension off and leave a 4/4 on the board. This is not as big of a deal, nor is that thing. So my opponent is going for the Demolisher Gambit. He's just going to, you know, pop the Divine Shield, deal 3 damage. Solid. Okay, well, let's take a quick look at the situation. One obvious option is to play the Gadsden Auctioneer and Lightning Bolt, and I can kill anything I want here, really. The question is, how do I do this? Well, if I kill the Silver Moon Guardian, then unfortunately the Ascension does not quite deal enough damage to kill the Demolisher. I will need to use the Twilight Drake to kill the Demolisher, which means this engine has to run into the Frostwolf Grunt. If, however, which kind of sucks, because that means my Sen'jin dies. If, however, I were to Lightning Bolt the Grunt, then the Sen'jin would kill the Silvermoon Guardian, which is pretty much the exact same thing. Unless I want to leave the Silvermoon Guardian alive. But no, my opponent, I believe, has a Power Word Shield, so he could just... God damn it, you're such an asshole. Alright, sorry for the swearing. If my opponent could put a Power Word Shield on this, kill my Sen'jin and live. So I do need to kill everything else, so it doesn't actually matter how I do it. So we're just going to run in Sen'jin, Lightning Bolt, Silvermoon Guardian, draw a card, Rockbiter Weapon. That will be nice next turn. And we're going to kill that Demolisher and pass the turn. I just never cease to be amazed that people manage to be jerks while when there's no chat in the game. I get it. I took a long time to think about it, but I had some legitimate things to think about, and you can say hello once, just in case maybe the person missed it or something, but saying it twice or a billion times is just making you a douche. Okay, well, let's take a look at the situation. So my opponent has this 10-10, but he did spend 2 cards on it, the Lightspawn plus the Divine Health. And this is actually hitting me pretty hard. So what I'm going to do is just play this Gaddison Auctioneer I conveniently just drew. We're going to put our Rockbiter Weapon on the Twilight Drake. And draw 2 cards for the privilege. I wish I didn't have this overload. This taunt would actually be really great. And then we're going to trade it in for the Lightspawn. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just kill the Lightspawn. There's a risk, of course. Holy Smite will now finish this off. Holy Nova will finish this off. But such is life, and I have huge card advantage. It's actually very unlikely my opponent could kill both of these things. He'd need an Argent Commander and a Holy Smite, which is an awfully specific combination of cards. So one of them will live, and then I'll be able to play Rockbiter Weapon for even more card drawing. My opponent plays a Stealth Creature. Well, that's really good for him, because it means I can't use this. I mean, I can use this and get a card, but that would be kind of silly. Oh my gosh, I have my 4-power army here. Do I play Stormwind Champion? The risk is... Oh, this is perfect. Yes, I do play the Stormwind Champion. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. If I play Stormwind Champion, these guys go up to 5 attack, which means Shadow Word Death will kill them off. That would be a little sad. Alright, what we're going to do instead is actually slightly different. Let's go ahead and do this. Draw a card, because you're always going to draw cards first. I don't actually want to Shattered Sun Cleric anything. What we're actually going to do is we're going to play this guy here. And then either a Totem or a Mana Wraith to be annoying. Well, my opponent only has a couple of cards, so I don't think this Mana Wraith makes that much of a difference. Let's just go ahead and make a Totem. This guy, I would say, is earning his keep. I mean, he's dying, so I'm going down a card, but I am keeping alive my infinitely more valuable creatures. Look at this. My opponent might even be tempted to use Shadow Word Pain on this just to clear it out of the way so the Tiger can kill my actual stuff. Oh, look at this. Oh, man. This would be gold money, cash dollars. Oh my gosh, that guy totally made it worthwhile. Alright, what does my opponent have here? He drew a Holy Smite. Alright, fair enough. I'm hoping these are Shadow Word cards. Nope, seemingly they are not. And he's going to heal up. Well, let's see if I can win here. I might be able to. It's not impossible. 2 Stormwind Champions. Okay, I got 4, 8, 9, 10, 11... 14 damage. No, not enough. Okay. Well, let's take a quick look here. I could play Stormwind Champion. Leaves me with 2 mana. Rockbiter Weapon. This would have 4 power. Crud. Not enough. I can't quite kill either of these creatures with that. I could play Rockbiter Weapon, Shattered Sun Cleric. That's still only 4. Can I race with my opponent? Well, let's see what totem we flip. We have a 1 in 3 chance of flipping a taunt. That would be really good here. We did not get the taunt. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go for the race then. Yeah, I'm just going to play a Stormwind Champion. And, just to be safe, let's kill off this Tiger. Let's not go too crazy. And we're going to just swing a ling. So my opponent now can't really play creatures very easily. I mean, he's got 9 mana, so he could play 1. But he could obviously kill my Stormwind Champion, or he could kill my Gaddison Auctioneer. Mind Control, that's pretty good. Luckily I have another Stormwind Champion. And he's going to go ahead and kill my Gaddison Auctioneer. That is only fair. Shoot, that means I can't win if I needed to keep some bodies around. My opponent basically took off 2 of my creatures with that Mind Control. So now I can deal 1, 2, 3, 6 damage. Yeah, it's not really enough. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and play another Stormwind Champion. And then let's play Shattered Sun Cleric on this Searing Totem here. Kill off the damaged Ventricle Mercenary and pass the turn. So I have pretty big card advantage and life advantage. My opponent can hit me down to 17, but he's still at 15 himself, 17 after he heals, and I've got a bigger board, so he's going to have to take great care if he chooses to race me like that. He's going to double that guy's health. Luckily, I have the Earth Shock here. Unluckily, the Earth Shock now doesn't do anything. God darn it. Jesus. He's going to heal up. Alright. So, actually, now the Earth Shock will basically undo the doubling health thing and turn that off. Yeah, we're going to have to do this here. I think we need to Earth Shock that guy. So he's going down to... Oh, really? That's interesting. That's not how that's supposed to work. It says silence the minion, then deal 2 damage. So silence should take it back down to 6/6, and then dealing 2 damage take it back down to 4. I really think that's a bug. Unless I'm misunderstanding something. Crud. Well, let's flip a totem. Taunt would be nice. I cannot get a taunt. Let's just go ahead and try to race then. So we're going to fill up the board here, basically. And yeah, let's play a Mana Wraith while we're at it. And we're going to swing. Now, of course, Holy Nova would mess up my day, but that would have to be top-decked. And I think I am more likely to live if I play everything out than I am to try to hold things back. I just can't trade profitably at the moment unless this Shattered Sun Cleric can survive and I can put a Rockbiter weapon on it. Then I could take out the Stormwind Champion. That Earth Shock! That is totally bugged. Yeah, silence the minion, then deal 2 damage. So that's why Earth Shock kills the Scarlet Crusaders. You know, you silence it, get rid of the Divine Shield, then you deal damage. So the Stormwind Champion, he was at 6/8. I guess maybe this is one of those like health buffing things that doesn't work the way it's supposed to work. That could be it. I don't know. Oh, is that really... Oh my god, he actually had a Holy Nova. You... have got to be kidding me. Well, that's gonna be the game here. Man, I really feel like I was ahead the whole game, but the mind control on the Stormwind Champion, plus it not taking damage when it was supposed to take damage, really sucked. Alright, well, let's pray for another spell power, or another taunt totem. We do not get it. Alright, well, it sucks taking 6 damage, but it sucks even more to lose the game. So I'm in serious trouble here, because this guy's actually a beast powerhouse here. I mean, my opponent can hit this thing, kill it, and then heal my guy up. So I would need to have some pretty amazing top decks to come back into the game. I am so frustrated that my opponent got a Holy Nova. I mean, he's probably got several in here, so it's probably not like that unlikely for him to have drawn some, but still. Oh, and of course he has the perfect answer for a totem. That is great. Defender of Argus, is that even worth playing right now? Still don't get a taunt totem. We're just going to actually pass. We're going to wait and see if I can get a creature that's a little bit more imposing than a totem to use the defender on. Fire Elemental could actually get me right back in the game, because I could Fire Elemental, kill that, Defender of Argus, have a 7/6 with taunt. That would actually keep me going, unless of course my opponent has another mind control. Oh my god, this game is so frustrating. My opponent is wisely killing off... No, he's thinking about it. Nope, he's going to go for it. Alright. Looks like my opponent has some kind of removal here or something. Ugh. Well, ball sacks is all I have to say to that. I guess we're going to have to use this. Let's hex that. Let's Defender of Argus. Kill the frog. Make another totem. Still cannot get a taunt totem to save my life. And pass the turn. So now my opponent, being a priest, can actually kill off this totem and then heal up his guy. So I'm not really coming ahead here. He's got 2 cards to my 0 plus board control. So yeah, this is just a disaster of a game ever since that Holy Nova got drawn. I mean, I feel like I had to take that risk because otherwise my opponent had a dominating board presence and he was going to win the race. Alrighty. Alrighty. Do I have any more buffs left for this? I don't think I do. Like, I don't think I have any Shattered Sun Cleric. Oh, Raid Leader! I do have one. That's great. Okay, we're going to play Raid Leader, make a totem. There's a Taunter. And we're going to swing. So let's find out what my opponent has. I mean, if it's a Mind Control, there's nothing that great that he could steal. I guess he could steal this Defender, but pretty safe against Mind Control. It actually sucked to see another Holy Nova, but the Defender would live. My opponent would need like a Holy Smite or a Charging Merfolk or something to finish this off. He might be holding on to like Power Word Shields and Divine Spirits and other kinds of crap. Ah, Mountain Giant. Well, that's fine. I do have a Taunt here, and I do have a Fire Elemental 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my god! I don't know how I won that game. Actually, I do know how I won. I won it by being amazing. Well played, Graham the douchey priest. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that people watching this are like, oh, Boris, you're so terrible at this game. You made like 15 gajillion mistakes. But I feel great right now because I don't know what I screwed up. I just think I was freaking awesome and won the game. Even after that devastating Holy Nova and after that devastating Mind Control, you pull it back and win it. But see, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, I feel like Mind Control is a pretty fair card. My opponent spent an entire turn to steal a creature, and it still didn't win him the game. It was like an amazing creature. He still didn't win. So that card seems fine. I'm kind of hoping that Blizzard doesn't, do anything too drastic when they nerf Mind Control. Maybe they can make it cost 9 mana, so you can't play a 2-drop after it or heal after it. That sometimes is relevant. This is a hand for the ages here. So these guys definitely need to go. The question is, do I keep the Fire Elemental just to have it? The answer is yeah. I mean, it's such a good card. Even if it means slightly risking a slow start, I will keep it around. So is it possible that had I mulliganed the Fire Elemental, I would have something to play here? Yes, but it's also possible I would have gotten something stupid and had nothing to do. These hexes actually are really irritating because you don't really want to hex your opponent's early plays. You want to deal with your opponent's early plays with your early creatures and save hex for the big stuff later. Oh man, this game, I can already tell, is going to be a problem. Oh goodness, this is not good. That actually might be okay, because it pops the Divine Shield, which is nice. But I'm really afraid to play this Raid Leader onto an empty board, because the opponents have so many ways, Paladins have so many ways of buffing, and Divine Shielding and all that nonsense. So it's a very slow start. That is a fact. Acidic Ooze, alright, no problem. Here's where I wish I had a card like Forked Lightning. That would be pretty great. Earthshock, interesting. That'll just kill the Argent Squire. Then I have 2 mana left. I could make a totem. I think it's better than playing the Raid Leader and being at the mercy of like my opponent putting Divine Shield on this and killing my Raid Leader and all that junk. So yeah, we're gonna Earthshock the Argent Squire. And we're gonna make a totem. And we're going to be happy that it was a taunt. Don't forget to attack with your 1/1s, and we're gonna pass the turn. I could have flipped this to see if I get spell power, and then maybe killed the ooze. That might have been a bit smarter. Yeah, I should have probably flipped first. Luckily, I didn't get a spell power totem anyway, so it didn't matter in this case, but it could have mattered. Now, if this thing can actually live, which is not super unlikely, Raid Leader will actually allow me to kill off the ooze, which is kind of nice. Then the Loot Hoarder trades for the Raid Leader. That's a bit sad. That is a bit sad. What's the best way to handle this? I mean, this just trades for the Loot Hoarder. I don't really want the Loot Hoarder to trade for the Raid Leader. That's just so sad. I don't want to use Lightning Bolt to kill the Loot Hoarder either. Man, you know what would be great for that Loot Hoarder? Earthshock! Silence a minion, then deal damage so you can kill the Loot Hoarder without giving your opponent a card. I could kill the totem with... I can use the totem to kill the Loot Hoarder, and then have the ooze trade for the Raid Leader, but that's essentially the same thing. It's the same exact thing happening in that scenario. Okay, what we're going to do is the following. I am actually going to make a totem. Spell power, well, that's not really relevant. We're going to kill that Loot Hoarder, give my opponent his card. So the totem didn't cost me a card, and the Loot Hoarder didn't lose my opponent a card. And then we're going to just go ahead and Lightning Bolt that thing. I might regret it. If he plays like a Flesh-Eating Ghoul or a Raging Worgen later, that I'll be sad that I didn't keep a Lightning Bolt around, but I think I just wanted to clear the board, and I don't want to lose this Raid Leader if I don't absolutely have to. So the tragedy is that next turn I'm overloaded, so I cannot play the Stark-Scale Healer. But hopefully my deck will give me one of my innumerable 3-drops that just like never want to show up. Oh god. Okay, well that was an egalitarian bomber. I can't complain about it. Raid Leader doesn't quite give this enough to take the bomber out, unfortunately. The coin. Here's a coin. What does my opponent have for me? Ironforge Rifleman. Uh-oh. Well, this is starting to get a little bit dicey, because now I can't do much. Are you kidding me? Jesus. Well, all we can do is make a totem and pass the turn. I could have hexed one of those guys, but that I think would have been a little bit silly. So yeah, we're falling behind here, and it's pretty much 100% because our hand just sucked. I kept this Fire Elemental around. My hand would have sucked anyway, although it's possible like the next card in my deck would have been a drop. But up to this point, it wouldn't have made any difference. Alright, he's going to make a recruit. I didn't see any Lightning Storms in this deck, so we're starting to actually just fall into oblivion here, which is a bit unfortunate. What we're going to do here is I'm going to actually play a Dark Scale Healer just because it's really big. And we're going to use Rock Biter Weapon and just try to kill his biggest creature. The problem is that Paladins have 1,000,001 ways to buff something and kill this up, like Dark Iron Dwarf on this. Not a Paladin thing per se, but just Paladins in general seem to play with lots of buffs. And so once this dies and this lives, and I don't have any Lightning Bolts, it's going to be hard for me to catch up. Like, I'm basically playing a creature a turn. My opponent's going to be playing a Recruit plus something else every turn, so it's going to kind of suck for me. Alright, well, it's not over yet. Ah, that doesn't look good. Blessing of Kings. Well, at least now I have a nice Hex target, so that's nice. Oh, God. This game is not looking good. I mean, these little things are actually going to start to do a number on me, because, again, I never saw Lightning Storm. Alright, Sentient Shieldmaster. Thank the Holy Moses. We're going to Hex that frog. And basically, this is exactly where you don't want to be against a Paladin, or really anyone. It's where you're playing the game of play a creature, pray to God it doesn't die, and the odds of it not dying are, like, infinitesimal. So, maybe my opponent has really bad cards left over, and that won't die, but I mean, maybe stuff like this will happen. You know, it's just, it's very difficult here. Okay, so the good news is that we can play Fire Elemental, kill his Argent Commander, so that Fire Elemental that I kept at a bitter price is finally doing something. Knife Juggler, please hit one of his things. Oh, thank goodness. Even though that was just the frog, I just need to, like, clear my opponent's board here somehow. I'm in big trouble. He's got 5 cards plus 2 creatures. I have 3 cards plus 2 creatures. Now, mine are better than his, but it is his turn. He's got 8 mana, and I have 0 totems. So the best case scenario here is if my opponent, let's say, plays like a Stormwind Champion. Let's say. No, don't, no, no! Ah, darn it. That is not the best case scenario. At least this creature's going to die, I hope. Unless he has Divine Shield. That would suck. That would suck donkeys if he had a Divine Shield granter right now. Looks like he doesn't. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Alright, 4 mana. Please don't do anything good. Please don't do anything. Please don't do anything with 4 mana. Please just make a Recruit and pass the turn. Well, okay. Okay, that's fine. I'll take that. I'll accept this. Oh, man. Paladin's hero ability is so good. So good. I'm down to 17 health. Okay. Mana Wraith. I don't think that's actually playable. We're going to... Interesting. I really want to make a Totem and not a Mana Wraith and then Frostwolf Warlord, but I can't because the Mana Wraith would make the Frostwolf Warlord expensive. Alright, we're going to make a Totem, see what we get. I was really hoping it would kill a Recruit. Alright, we're going to play this in the quote-unquote wrong order then. I'm going to make a Frostwolf Warlord. Really need to kill these Recruits. Come on. Ah, thank goodness. And we're going to play the Mana Wraith. Come on! Ah. Alright, we're going to go ahead and kill the Recruit then. So I'm just trying to hang in there. The Paladin, I would say, can still win this game. He had a couple of bad turns where he didn't have any buffs, so he couldn't quite catch up against me, but now I might be able to get in there. Might be able to sneak it on in there. My opponent had something for this Mana Wraith. It could be a Hammer of Wrath, perhaps? Although I'd use it on the Frostwolf Warlord myself and then trade the Raptor in for the Warlord. Man, this was great that my opponent had nothing better to do after Hammer of Wrathing me at 8 mana than just to play this in a Recruit. That gave me a chance to catch back up. And I still have a Hex, so ideally he'll play something really big, I can Hex it, and then actually start to deal damage. Wouldn't that be a treat? Spellbreaker. Ah, well that is annoying, but it's not the worst thing that could have happened, because this guy is still a 4/4. Hammer of Wrath, wow, that doesn't even kill my guy. So that my opponent gets a little bit of, well, he doesn't lose any cards for that, and he's going to trade the Raptor in, I suppose. Alright, that's fine. I'm crawling my way back into this game. My opponent had just a couple of bad turns, and that is all I needed. I could play the Gadsden Auctioneer and Hex, draw a card, but let's hang on to that. Let's go ahead and just, first of all, flip a Totem. I need one of the knives to hit this. Nope. Oh my god, come on. Knives, don't fail me! Thank you. Whew, that allows me to trade my Totem in for that guy. And swing. Now, what's really hilarious is my opponent could have a Consecration. It's actually very likely that, you know, we're 17 cards into a 30-card deck that has Consecration. It kills my entire board. But you have to go for it, which means you have to go for it. Hopefully he will play a creature afterwards. I can play the Gadsden Auctioneer and Hex. Why play Equality? That was, well, I guess he doesn't have Consecration. If he'd had Consecration, he would have used it. Okay, well, that Twilight Drake is terrible. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and gas an auctioneer. The reason for this is I want to get a card when I cast Hex. Cards are important. We're going to then kill this thing. Let's actually throw away this Mana Wraith. I want to, again, leave my opponent creatureless, if I at all can. And I know he doesn't have Consecration unless he top decks it, and even if he does top deck it, this guy kind of survives. Now, at the moment, I have this junk-ass rare, so there's nothing good for me to do, but I'm in this game. I got 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have lethal damage, theoretically. My opponent needs to be a bit careful here. He's got to kill something or put up a taunt up or something. The hexes, they kind of sucked in the early game, but they ended up being pretty good, I have to say. And this raid leader, too, is earning his keep, that's for sure. Alright, so I'm glad that I didn't throw this guy under the bus earlier. It ended up working out, although things were kind of hairy for a while. Kokomite. Kokomite? Kokomite. Maybe it's French. Ah, Defender of Argus. Well played. So that allows my opponent to hang in there. Otherwise, I was going to have lethal damage. If I get a spell, I've already used Earth Shock, but if I do get some other removal spell, nope. No removal spells, no cards. So what we're going to do, I think, is... Yeah, I think now is... Well, do I really want to give up this raid leader? What I want to do is flip some, play some creatures, see if I can flip a dagger at this, then I can throw my taunt totem away. So let's actually go ahead and play the Twilight Drake. Fling a knife. Nope. Let's make a totem. Fling a knife. Aha! I can make a Master Swordsmith, or I can make a Farseer. Let's make the Swordsmith. Might as well, you know... Actually, you know what? Let's just spend more of my mana. Let's do this. Fling a knife. There is a non-zero chance that the knife will actually hit this again, and then I'll win the game. Alas. Okay, so we're going to throw the totem away here. I think the raid leader has done his job. I don't win, right? 5, 7... Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Oh my god, I forgot to look for the win, almost. But no, the knives went to my opponent's head. That's what enabled me to actually make up the damage and win. Alright, wow. That was 2 extremely hard-fought victories to start off this arena, so that kind of bodes a little bit dangerously for me, I suppose, but a win is a win. It all looks the same on the scoreboard. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed my return to the arena, then do please click the like and or subscribe buttons, which are available for your clicking on your screen, and if you want to see how this arena run ends, then by all means, stay tuned. The rest of the games are going to be coming up shortly. I'll see you in a bit.